So today's a big day. I'm finally switching from Optus Fixed Wireless across to Starlink. Now in this video I'm going to talk about why I'm moving across, and then also hopefully provide a little bit of information on how I install it at my house. Hopefully this can help some people watching if they're thinking about doing the same. So now we've got the box open, it seems relatively easy, although things aren't labelled. I mean, but step-by-step process, shows the power unit, the Starlink unit itself. Looks like it's got a modem that we connect in here. I'm not seeing anything difficult about this. It all looks relatively simple. But anyway, let's go. So much like Fixed Wireless, Starlink needs to be mounted to the roof of your house. It needs a good line of sight to the satellites. Now, I'm lucky enough to already have the brackets and the pole in place from the Fixed Wireless, so I'm going to mount directly to the top of that. Now, I've bought a bracket off Amazon. Now, you can buy them off Starlink direct, and they cost about $100 Australian. Now, this one here cost me about $35. And I'm going to start assembling things and see if it's good enough for the job. So the first thing I need to do is remove this bracket at the back. I've been told it's very simple, but we'll give it a go. Like, I've seen screwdrivers involved, I've seen everything involved, but one video showed me that, you know, I could just have to put my fingers under here, squeeze, and then pull out. Now, other people have said they've cracked. So we'll give it a go and see how easy it is to pull out. Oh well, that wasn't too hard at all. So the second part I'm going to do here is that, look, I've assembled this bracket from when it came because it was all apart. But if I'm looking at this bracket, it looks easy enough to slide in here now, but I don't know what's keeping it in. So we've got two little grooves here, obviously, that fit the original bracket to stop that sliding out. And okay, so these two back adjustable screws here, so we've got 4 in total, look to line up. So if I put my finger, yeah, they do. So they look to line up. So I'm assuming that when I screw them in, they'll screw into those little recesses there, and that'll lock the bracket in. So I'll give it a go. So here's possibly a better, or a close-up of what we're dealing with here. You can see the jacking screws that I've just tightened down. They'll need to be firm, but I wouldn't tighten them too far because at the end of the day, there's a lot of plastic stuff here. You'll see here that Starlink needs to be adjusted to the satellites. Now, you can see here we can adjust that. And rotational wise, obviously, we would just spin this around the existing pipe up the top. So I think we've got pretty good adjustment there, but let's see when we get up to the top. So here we are on the roof now, looking at the NBN unit that I was describing earlier. So as you can see, we are fixed wireless. It's pointed at the area in which it obviously needs to receive a signal. So yeah, the idea of what I've got is that I'm just going to slip a pipe into here and then bring that up slightly so then the Starlink unit fits to the top. So before you install your Starlink, it's always wise to download the app and check where you're going to actually install it on your roof. Now, the app has a series of pages where you just answer a couple of quick questions. You'll jump on the roof or where you intend to install it. And then essentially what you're going to do is point your phone or your camera to the sky. Now, as you point to the sky, there's all these white dots. Now, you'll notice as you pan around here, or while I pan around here, you'll see the trees glow red. And that's what it's picking up as obstructions. So those white dots are essentially looking for obstructions. Yeah, so you do a full 360, and then I obviously pound up further to the sky, kept going around and around, and then essentially it says next. Once it does that, it'll put you on the final page where it says, yeah, you're good to go. So here's the pipe extension piece that I was talking about earlier. Just pop that in here like that. I've drilled a couple of holes at the top of the bracket, which will allow me to put a bolt through. Now the bolt through is just to secure the pipe, obviously stop it going anywhere. Tighten that up and we're good to go. So the Starlink unit itself can then go slide on the top. So, like so, tie those down. And then of course this will pivot, and then it also has the ability to spin to find the satellite. So if I just tighten this up now. So I'll put a little piece in here later and just make sure that this doesn't weigh back and forward. Okay, so the next things to do is essentially run the cable. So now the NBN cable, they've just drilled a hole and they've then siliconed around it. So I can't see why I shouldn't be able to do the same. So easy enough, and then that'll run through to the bottom into the room where the router will sit. Okay, final installation. Dish is now pointing in the right direction. We're getting a pretty good signal. We're getting high-end download speeds, high-end 90s that is. So I'm pretty happy with that. Certainly better than our old provider. And I just sort of tidy things away here. I put cable ties and also a little bit of rubber between the cable and the pipe there to stop during the wind and the storms, if there's any movement, I don't want it wearing through and then shorting out. I mean, that'd be the last thing we want. So anyway, yeah, that's about it. After I'd fitted the Starlink dish, I then opened the app back up. The app itself gives you this little page which you can go into. It helps align the dish perfectly to the satellites. As you can see there, it's just a matter of adjusting it back and forward, and once you have it in position, you then lock down the screws so it can't go anywhere. As you can see, here's where I drilled a hole in the roof. I've then put the cable through that. I've made sure the cable's nice and centered to make sure it's not rubbing on the edges, and then I've siliconed around that, so holding it into the center. So I think that pretty much wraps things up here. Yeah, all in all, pretty happy. So after installation connection, I then opened the app up and conducted a Starlink speed test just to confirm it was working correctly. To help show the difference in download speeds, here's a side-by-side comparison of Starlink and Optus. You can see there's a considerable difference. One of the other reasons why I left Optus was that it was slowly becoming more and more expensive. Starlink is now $20 a month cheaper than Optus, so the decision was quite easy to make. Well, that's a wrap, I think. Yeah, anyway, I hope I've managed to help someone out there with a similar situation to me, moving from a fixed wireless to a Starlink system. Good luck with your endeavours.